Hello, this is Community Unity Now, the D Tycoon Show. My co-host, Bill Morton, president of the Rogers Park Chamber of Commerce, still is recuperating from his injury. I am Trudy Leong, administrator of the Rogers Park Chamber of Commerce. Our very special guest today is Dolton Trustee Kiana Belcher. She is running for Cook County Commissioner of the 5th District. Welcome, Kiana.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Could you first tell us what does the 5th District comprise of?
So the 5th District is the far south side of Chicago all the way to Park Forest, mainly the west side of those areas. So it covers about 29 communities, 309,000 residents, and about 192,000 registered voters.
That is a lot. For the entire Cook County, do you know how much that is?
I don't know offhand.
No, that's okay. Yeah. Well, that sounds like a big piece of geography. How engaged are the voters? You go door to door to get your signatures. How engaged are they? Do they know anything about the politics?
Well, most people don't know really what the commissioner does, so you do a lot of educating while talking to people. But since I've been on TV so much, people know me at the door. It's like, oh, it's the Dolton Trustee, because they know what I've experienced over the last 4 years. But just educating people, getting them involved to know what the county commissioner does, letting them know about the advocacy of why a commissioner is so important. And then a lot of times people talk about their taxes, their property taxes being high. So I ask them, like, so do you really understand what are you getting for your taxes? And then there's a lot of issues that go along with the infrastructure, water infrastructure, and then healthcare access. We want to definitely make sure that as a county commissioner that almost 60% of the budget of the county budget is medical healthcare. So we want to make sure that they have access to viable medical and make sure they have preventative services.
What do they tell you? Do they have what they need?
No, most of the time they feel like there's always something else that could be done. But it's a matter of making sure that people know where to go to get the services.
Have you spoken with any of the current Cook County Board? Do you know Toni Preckwinkle, Madam President, Toni Preckwinkle?
I do. I am familiar with her and have spoken to her, yes.
And how she is trying to do a lot for Cook County, but what more could you help her do, help the board do as a commissioner?
Well, the board consists of 17 commissioners, so it's about teamwork. You definitely have to work together, but you have to focus on what your district needs. And when you start talking about budgeting and allocating money, you got to make sure that you have the needs of your constituents in mind when you make those decisions. So most of the time when talking to residents and talking to business owners and organizations, what services that you can make sure that money is allocated back to those communities.
Okay, so what are their needs? Healthcare?
A lot of it is healthcare. Currently, the 5th District does not have a level 2 trauma center, which under the leadership of Commissioner, now Cook County Clerk Monica Gordon, was definitely trying to push for that. So I want to make sure that if I can move forward with producing a level 2 trauma center. Also, when we talk about infrastructure, a lot of water infrastructure in the Southland, where there's a lot of flooding going on, a lot of people complain about they are losing stuff that they can never get back. So losing memories, and then although they may be able to apply for FEMA, it does not really cover what they've lost. So we want to make sure that when we start focusing on infrastructure, making sure that allocations of funds are going to the Southland to repair infrastructure that is way outdated.
water flows to the south, right? I live in the north, so we get flooding too. But does more water flow southward? And because we're all floodplains, so it's
Well, geographically, I don't know, but I do know as a person that has been in the midst of lots of floods and seen.
Have you been flooded?
I have been. I have been flooded. Neighbors been flooded. I haven't been flooded to the extent of some of my neighbors where they have total loss and had to be out of their properties for several months. But we have outdated infrastructure in the Southland. So making sure that we start trying to upgrade the infrastructure. The county offers a lot of different resources. It's just a matter into tapping into those resources. Also, right now they had a lead pipe replacement program, and people just need to go on the sites to see what's available. They're offering a tax relief of $1,000, homeowner tax relief of $1,000, and that is available to the end of October. So
there's not much time left.
There's not much time left.
Yes.
But those are type of things that people just need to know what's available to them.
And what about the infrastructure? Is it the sewers that are not working well? What is it not working well?
It could be the sewers. It could be piping need to be. We have a lot of water main breaks. Just outdated infrastructure in Southland.
About over 100 years old, those?
Absolutely.
Oh. And do you have any idea about approximately how much money does the Southland need to restore that repair that infrastructure, and then how much money is available from Cook County that you could access?
Well, it wouldn't happen overnight. It's a process, and you have to do a lot of different surveys to see where it can be most valuable to start it. Because there are so many areas that's covered in the 5th District, you want to make sure, too, that once funding is available, that it's separated amongst all of the communities, because everybody should be able to. So it probably would go in different sporadically of different areas that they would start. What I do know is that although you can't put a set amount right now until you get surveys done for those type of things, estimates, that the amount of money that is probably needs to be allocated for just the Southland, far South Chicago and the Southland is not nowhere near where it should be right now. And the reason I say that is because when allocations of funds go in front of the board to vote on, it's not by district. It's literally about who has the resources to make sure that their communities apply for it. So it's not allocated by this district, that district. It goes all into one pot, and then those resources are just divvied out about who applies.
Okay, so in other words, the entire Cook County would get it, and then you would educate the 5th District about trying to yes. Mm-hmm. So has that ever happened, like for the lead program? Are people applying adequately? Do they is there enough money to go around for people who do apply?
So it's called Clean Water, which I had been making sure that people in the 5th District, they knew about. It was for the daycares, whether it be a home daycare or commercial daycare, that they would replace all of the piping, and it was through Cook County. It was totally free, which helps all of the different daycares, whether it be commercial or home residential daycare. So it was called the Clean Water Program.
So do you know if all the daycares have been addressed, or
no? Everybody doesn't do it, but you try to advocate and educate as many people as you can to make sure that it's working for the benefit of them.
So you still are a Dolton trustee, and is Dolton part of the Southland?
Yes, it is, absolutely.
Okay, and then what have you learned as a trustee in Dolton that you could apply toward the better leadership as a Cook County Commissioner?
Well, I've been involved in politics since 2007. So as I have worked in different organizations, I was a chief financial officer, been an educator. There are a lot of different things. As an elected official, though, the difference between being a hands-on with constituents versus at the county level, you're more working with organizations and businesses that you're getting money, helping to give money to funnel to the communities. It's all about legislative passing ordinances, making sure that you're going over budgets, because it's checks and balances, and checks and balances need to be everywhere. So at the county level, which is just a little bit over, local level, you're just making sure that you are having checks and balances of things.
So you're saying that when you're as a Dolton trustee, you're more involved with the constituents, but as a Cook County Commissioner, you're more involved with the organizations
and businesses.
And
correct.
businesses, okay. Have you gone to a lot of Cook County Commissioner meetings and board meetings, and then learn from that? How do you prepare to run, and why run for that seat?
Well, I look at them online because at this time it kind of conflicts with working. But I do look at them online, take notes of things that are concerns and things that I see that I would just like to respond or possibly see how it can be better, because everything is about streamlining, and just making sure that, you can never say what you can prepare for. And I say that because every time you can go somewhere and you're on one side looking in until you actually get on the other side, and it's not what is expected. But what I will say is I have been an advocate as an elected officer, and people know that if I don't have the answers, I'm going to look to get the answers and make sure that I have receipts for the answers that I do get. So it's all about making sure that as I move forward to become the Cook County Commissioner of the 5th District, that I'm educating myself by educating others on things that I may not know.
Have you interacted with your current Cook County Commissioner? Do you know the person, and then any communication before? Have you asked for services?
Well, Dolton has 3 districts. Okay. So Dolton has the 4th District Cook County Commissioner, the 5th District Cook County Commissioner, and the 6th District. So as an elected official, if they are providing any services, then of course I would be engaged and involved, because I'm an elected official in Dolton now. Currently, right now, there are some services, but people tend to show up more when it's election time. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, we need to have people show up all the time, not just around election time.
Is that frustrating for you that people don't respond when during non-election cycles? Do you see that happen?
Yes, sometimes I do see that. And I think that, as many people will say, that I have been a person that show up all the time. Mm-hmm. My phone stays on, and if I can't get the resources, I'll try to call someone that can get the resources. But when it does get to other levels of government, sometimes it's very hard for them to actually produce what they stated they would. What's unique about the seat that I'm running for is that it was an appointed seat, so technically the person that is running now has to run for the seat also. So we'll just see, but the Village of Dolton definitely supports Kiana Belcher for Cook County Commissioner, and a lot of other local elected officials do. So I've built relationships because I'm an elected official. I've built relationships with surrounding communities that are part of the district, and they know that I will continue to work on their behalf.
So you're running for a 5th district. Do you live in the 5th district? Is that why you chose the district?
Yes, I do. And you have to live in the district in which you are running for. So yes.
For how long? Before you could?
1 year.
Oh, okay.
But I've been in Dolton 20 years.
Oh, okay. And you chose to be in Dolton, so you like it there?
Yes. Mm-hmm. I'm comfortable with where I live at.
You said that your background includes working in organizations. So what organizations?
So I substitute taught for 7 years at Lincoln in Calumet City. I also was the chief financial officer of a holding company. So the holding company is a lot of small businesses where it's all under one umbrella, and you work on the finance department. I do have.
In other words, there's like a large. There is over all company, and they have a lot of small businesses, and that. Okay.
And you oversee their finances.
How long were you doing that?
6 years, and it was most of the time over $30 million that I had to oversee.
Was that difficult? What's your background in school?
My BA is in criminal justice, and my master's is in political science.
And then you ended up in finance?
I know, right?
What happened there?
Life. But I was currently, well, not while I'm campaigning now, working on my PhD in public policy and administration, but I did have to put that on pause while I seek the election.
Mm-hmm. Well, you have a real life experience with that.
Yes.
Do you know if you could apply that toward your degree at all? Any like you're actually doing what you're learning about?
Yes, absolutely. But it's always laws change, things change, so it's always good to enhance and keep enhancing knowledge. And one thing that no one can take from you is knowledge, but you can also apply it in everyday life.
You study criminal justice, so are you applying that toward you're advocating for transparency in government? There's a lot of levels of transparency. What kind of transparency are we talking about?
We're talking about financial transparency. We're talking about making sure that dollars I spend are going to the right places. We're talking about advocating for things that we know our community needs. Even when we talk about healthcare, you have to research and investigate and see, because our community is so populated with minorities that we have to focus on preventative service. A lot of people don't like to go to the doctor, and then they'll wait to when it's after the fact. They're reactive instead of proactive of things that need to be done. So you just want to make sure that educating residents are very important, because then the services that are needed are available to them.
How difficult is it to actually connect the, you have a lot of marginalized population, and it's often kind of hard to connect the services with what people need. You've worked at the government for a long time. How is it? Is it hard to connect services with the people? Is it just because of the people not being informed, or is it the services there's no will to get the services to the people?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think that people don't know. So if you don't know, then you don't go. And then it's sometimes with all of the fiscal misappropriations of how people decide where your dollars should be spent and what services should be. Sometimes there's a lack of services that one area may need more than another area. And you just have to make sure that you are doing the work to find out what your constituents need.
So how much of your job would be making sure that the money is being fiscally responsibly spent? For instance, maybe there are contracts that are for special interests versus contracts that actually help people. Is there a department that investigates that, or do you have any hand in making sure that the money is responsibly spent, that is allocated?
Well, as I stated, there are 7 commissioners, so there are a multitude of commissions, committees, different things. So when we start talking about at the county level, the Cook County level, Cook County is very large. So there's a lot of ways that you have to make sure and hold people accountable for making sure that funds are spent right, correct, but also making sure too that when you go to a budget, you don't want to continue to keep trying to tax people to give services. You have to really allocate and really dissect what is needed and what's not needed. And also, you think about the Cook County Jail as part of it, the Cook County State's Attorney's Office, the Cook County Hospitals, the Cook County Forest Preserve. So there's a lot of things that are part under the umbrella of Cook County government.
So are they like the City of Chicago sister agencies? Do they? I know they fall under the umbrella, but are they pretty much entities unto their own? Those the ones that you just mentioned, or
yes, they're county agencies, Cook County agencies.
Right. So, do you see that there is enough money to go around? And you said that you want to make sure that people are not taxed unfairly. So how do you balance having enough money to spend for the county and then not taxing?
Well, I think Tony Preckwinkle has done, as the board president, has done a great job at making sure that the deficit is going down, making sure that the budget in which they vote on in November, right now I think the upcoming budget is roughly about $10 billion, but at the same time making sure that we're not continually trying to tax under the county administration. So, you give credit where credit is due. And once you see that if someone is not consistently trying to tax you and just trying to reallocate the funds, that maybe in one year they didn't use a lot of funds in one particular area and they can now be brought over to another area. So I think they're doing a okay job with that. So I don't think that has anything to do with why I'm running for this particular seat.
Okay.
This particular seat is just, it is a seat where you have to make sure that the person that sits in that seat is actually doing the work for the people that will be there.
And then what committees or are there committees, which committees would you like to work on that are on the board?
Well, there are a lot of committees. I think ethics is one that I would definitely be interested in. Finance was one that I would be interested in. I believe they allocate the committees based on what either the prior person that was on that committee or not. And I think they change it as needed. But committees of interest to me would probably be ethics and finance.
What committees are you working on now as in Dolton?
Currently, I am the chair of the Finance Committee. I am the chair of the Police and Fire Committee. So those three definitely play a large role in the Village of Dolton. Police and Fire, of course, first responders are always at the top of, and then making sure that we have the money for the first responders and things. So I believe that the committees that I currently chair now are very vital to our community.
Is there enough money in Dolton to provide those services?
There's never enough money, and unfortunately that we are in, we do have a deficit, but that deficit was based on careless spending of administration prior to, and if anybody had followed it over the last 4 years, seeing what type of administration that we had and what we were going through. But under the new administration and new mayor, Jason House, I think he's definitely leading us back out of the hole. It's just a matter of finding funding and different resources to get us there.
So as a commissioner, would you be able to help Dolton navigate a recovery?
I'm sure that there will be some programs and funds that would be available to the Village of Dolton that we will be able to process or look into to see if it's available also. I would like to say that if and when I become the Cook County Commissioner of the 5th District, I can no longer be elected in the Village of Dolton because those offices are incompatible. So if they are incompatible, because Cook County does allocate funds to different communities, then I will be relinquishing my seat as a trustee.
Right. And how much research have you done in the surrounding communities that are part of the 5th District, outside of Dolton?
Well, I grew up in Washington Heights, which is part of the 5th District. I went to Marcus Garvey School, graduated from Percy Julian. So that's the 21st Ward. So I'm very familiar with the 21st Ward. I have a lot of different relatives, people, all in those areas. And I think everybody is rooting for me to become the next commissioner because they know that I am going to continue to fight for the residents. And
you filed for you filed your petitions yesterday.
Yes, I did. I filed yesterday. I was actually number 2 in line. There's a lottery on November 10th, and right now.
That's okay. And then what about the how many? Where did you get the most signatures? A real quick answer for that because we are running out.
The city of Chicago. Yes.
Okay. Well, if our viewers want to learn more about you, Kiana Belcher, where should they go?
Vote KianaBelcher.com. No, Belcher for 5thdistrict.com. I'm sorry. Belcher for 5thdistrict.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Kiana Belcher, who is running for Cook County Commissioner of the 5th District. This is Community Unity Now, the D Tycoon Show. I am Trudy Leong, Administrator of the Rogers Park Chamber of Commerce. From Bill Morton, my co-host, President of the Rogers Park Chamber of Commerce. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you again next week.